What's up YouTube, jDantastic here, and today I wanted to talk about some of the stuff that I am most excited for in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. The game is rapidly approaching. It's getting so close. The closed beta is just a couple of days away. The open beta is only like a week away, and the game itself is only like 18 more days away or something like that. It's getting crazy. It's getting hyped. We've seen a decent amount of stuff get released about the game. Some more and more updates are coming out. We don't know everything yet, but we do know a decent amount. So with that being said, right before the beta, I kind of wanted to talk about some of the things that I'm really excited for that we do know are going to be in the game. And then, you know, once the game is out, obviously I'll play it a ton and then probably do another review later on down the road, talk about what I felt like was really, really great, some of the stuff that I might be disappointed with, yada, yada, yada. But I wanted to kind of lay it out first so that everyone knows kind of what I'm looking forward to going into the game. And then maybe we can talk about what you guys are most excited for. So that's what I want you guys to do. I want you to drop a comment down below. You can let me know, you know, whatever you're most looking forward to. It could just be one thing, it could be 5 things, it could be 20 things. Doesn't matter. Whatever you're most excited for Xenoverse 2, drop it in the comment section down below. If you're hyped up for the game, the beta, make sure you drop a like on the video. Let's get hyped up. Let's show some hype for this game. Show some support. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. Crazy, boys. So, starting it out, I'm going to do my top 5 most excited for things in Xenoverse 2. Starting out is going to be, this one should probably be obvious because most of my time spent in Xenoverse, the first Xenoverse, Dragon Ball Xenoverse, was spent online fighting other players. At first, when the game first dropped, I spent most of my time doing the single player, but then it really heavily transitioned into online play, obviously random battles, that type of stuff. So one of the things, and this is kind of a cop-out, it's like a group together answer, but we don't, there's some stuff we don't know a ton about yet. The thing that I'm most excited for is a better, you know, a revamped online system, basically, a revamped fighting system. We know that they have improved some of the movesets. We know that they have removed some moves that were, you know, I don't like to use the word OP or unfair because, you know, everyone has access to those moves and stuff, but at the same time, some of the moves are a little bit scumbaggy and they can be spammed and they can be taken advantage of. And I'm sure that there's going to be stuff in Xenoverse 2. There are going to be exploits. There's going to be moves that are, you know, OP. There's going to be stuff that is going to need to be, you know, updated or changed, or people are going to have to adapt to, whatever, because that happens in every fighting game. But I am looking forward to them having learned from the first Xenoverse, moving into the second Xenoverse, kind of what moves can balance each other out. And then on top of that, you know, better hit detection, more options for online play. So if you just want to play with original characters, you don't want to play with custom characters, you can do that. And then also having transformations for each of the custom characters. Basically what I want to happen, because if you notice what happened with Xenoverse, you know, once a certain moveset was found to be the #1 moveset, that's what everyone played with. All the characters looked the same, all the moves were the same, and it got really annoying to play online. Now it's kind of calmed down a little bit, you know, the online play isn't so crazy. I mean, every once in a while you run into a player that's kind of scumbaggy, but, you know, that's just online gameplay. But what I want to happen, what I'm hoping is going to happen, and is that we're going to see, you know, a much more well-rounded amount of options, I guess. I want players to have a lot more options, and I think that they will. And like I said, we know that they've made improvements to all these systems. We know that the transformations are there. We know that the options for online play is there. We know that they have removed certain moves and changed certain moves. So we know that it's going to be better. I just I'm really excited for a much more rounded playing field. I want it to be, you know, you don't necessarily have to be a certain race or have to pick a certain character to, you know, win a certain amount of fights or things like that, I guess is what I'm saying. So the #1 thing that I'm most excited for is just the fighting in general, the updates to the fighting system, the online play, the additions to the created characters with the transformations, the move updates, all that kind of stuff. The second thing that I am most excited for in Xenoverse 2 is the characters, the new characters that we're going to see. Obviously, with characters like Majin Vegeta is amazing. Janemba is amazing. Gogeta is amazing. We're going to see some awesome, cool, hype characters like Goku Black. There's going to be sweet DLC characters. There's going to be characters we don't even know about yet. The new characters have me really hyped up. I was fine with the roster that was in Xenoverse 1. Now we have Xenoverse 2. We got more characters in there. I know that there was some disappointment floating around with the Timebreaker characters not be included in the regular slots, and so it made the roster seem larger than it was. I'm not really too upset about that because we do know that there are new characters. We do know that there's going to be more characters. So I'm hyped up for the new characters, especially the top three. I mean, Majin Vegeta, Janemba, and Gogeta they're top tier in my book, and I'm really excited for them to be in the game. So the new characters have me really hyped. It's going to be cool to have more original characters to play with for random battles. It's going to be cool to just play with some of my favorite characters in general, and to just mix it up. It's going to be great to mix it up and wait for those other characters to come out as well. Number three is the new improved city. Yes. Oh man, Toki Toki. It was cool to be able to run around with everyone and kind of have an open environment to run around in, but at the same time, it was still really limited. It just, I don't know. It was fine, I guess. It was fine for what it was. It was fine for the first game, but to have a much more vast and explorable world is really cool. I found it kind of annoying. The sections were really small. Every time you wanted to go from one section to the next, you had to go through this loading screen, a loading gate. And the layout of it just felt really kind of strange. The idea of it was cool. The fact that it's like an MMO-ish kind of game. Like I said, you can run into other players, you can challenge other players. That idea was all really cool. And I think that for the first game, it was a nice way to kind of ease into it for a Dragon Ball Z game. But now, I'm really excited that we've moved into a much more interactive and vast world with like mini games, stuff that you can find around the world. You can explore much more parts, like pretty much every corner I think you can explore of the new map and everything. So, that's really cool. I'm excited for that. 'Cause I know a lot of you guys think that I'm only excited for the multiplayer stuff, but I spend a lot of time playing the single player. A lot of time. I've played through the single player game 6 times, 7 times, I don't know, a ton of times. What was that, 3? That was 3, right? The fourth thing that I'm most excited for is the story, updates to the story. I actually really liked the first Xenoverse story. There were definitely parts that I felt like could be improved. The villains were, I really like Toa and Mira. I think they're cool. Mira especially seems like a really cool villain. Demigra, I think, let me down a little bit. I wanted him to be either more involved or offer more of a threat, or I'm not sure how to describe what he was missing, but I wanted more, I guess, is what I wanted out of that story. So I'm really excited for an improved storyline. Some people didn't really like it, I guess, for Xenoverse, but I didn't really understand that because while we get to play through the same story that we all know and love, we also get to see it from different perspectives. We get to be our own character. We get to be in the Dragon Ball Z story. Like, that's crazy. So I really liked that piece of it, and I'm excited to see where it goes in Xenoverse 2. Hopefully those characters are really built out now. The villains are going to be much more villainous, I guess, which is something that admittedly the show itself kind of lacks, a real sense of danger, or, that something bad might actually happen, because there's always you can always wish people back, or, there's always someone who can turn back time. There's always some kind of cop out in Dragon Ball Z. So, that's kind of on the show. But I hope the game, it has villain. Like, I want to be invested in the storyline. I want it to be, crazy. As a time patroller, I want to go in and I want stuff to be like really messed up and it's like a really dire situation. And then to be able to, work with the Z fighters, work with Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, everybody, and, bring the story back to where it's supposed to be. So I'm really excited to play the new story in Xenoverse 2. I think it's going to be really, really great. And the fifth most excited thing that I am excited for in Xenoverse 2 is the QQ Bang system. Now, we don't really know how that's going to work. Not 100% yet, I guess. So, but basically, if you haven't heard about this, tons of feedback was that clothing should not affect your stats. And while clothing affecting your stats in Xenoverse, it didn't really bother me that much. There was a ton of feedback around it. It didn't really bother me that much, but I understand where the feedback is, and with this new system, I really like it. Because like I mentioned earlier in my first point, with a more well-rounded, differential online created character play set, now not everyone is going to have to wear the same clothes to get the same stat bonuses, because with the QQ Bank system, it seems like you're going to be able to override the stats of a certain set of clothes so that you can have the stats tiered to your character, and you don't necessarily have to wear a set of, because there were a lot of outfits in Xenoverse that were really cool, but they didn't fit your character's build, or they were really weak in what they added into your character. Maybe they didn't really add anything at all, and so if you wore those clothes because you wanted to, because they looked really cool, you would be at a disadvantage if you went up against the player who just wore the clothes because they had the right stat boost. So I'm really excited for that as well. I think that's a really cool idea. I'm glad that they incorporated that. Hopefully it works the way that we think it will. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not 100% on how everything is going to work with that yet. But I think it's a really cool idea, and it'll really help people be able to customize their characters more without having to, sacrifice in a certain stat area. They won't have to sacrifice their super attack damage for health or whatever just because they want to look like a certain character. So I think that's really cool. So just to recap, my favorite things, my most excited things that I'm looking forward to is a better, well-rounded online character created experience. The new characters would be number 2. The new city to explore is number 3. New storyline is number 4, and the QQ Bank system is number 5. So those are my top 5 most excited things looking forward to in Xenoverse 2. If I have to throw in an honorable mention in there, it's going to be the PQ system, the parallel quest system. Hopefully that is super duper revamped, and there is much less emphasis on RNG. So that it's not entirely based on luck and maybe a little bit more based on skill. I like things that are based on skill as opposed to, well, I've done this quest 900 times in the last week and I haven't gotten the item I wanted, and it's driving me mad. So hopefully that is completely revamped, and we see, a different way of doing things there. So that would be my honorable mention. But I'm really excited to hear what you guys have to say. I want to see your most excited things for Xenoverse 2, whether it's 5, 3, 1, 20, doesn't matter. Drop them in the comment section down below. Again, if you're super hyped up for Xenoverse 2, if you're going to be playing the beta, make sure you drop a like on this video. Let's get those hype levels up, boys. And make sure you subscribe to my channel. There's going to be a ton of Xenoverse 2 content coming, probably more than you're ever going to want to see. But it's basically going to be mostly Xenoverse 2 for the foreseeable future. But that's just how it is. I'm super duper hyped. But yeah, there you go. Those are my top 5 most excited for things in Xenoverse 2. I want to hear yours. As always, ladies and gentlemen, I will talk to you in the next video. Later.